My God, that's nearly 30 years ago now. Makes me feel old.
We don't send women to combat.
Well, that's a problem, because I'm here.
Kate, huge congratulations on Lee.
Thank you very much.
I love how she says, I was born determined, and you've been working on this for 9 years. How much of yourself did you see in Lee?
Well, I think now that I am out the other side and it's a full 9 years since I started developing the film, I mean, I can honestly say that I think I was probably born as determined as Lee, I realise now, because the tenacity that she had, I genuinely found myself mirroring in trying to get this film made and being determined to do it in the right way, with the right people, with the right degree of truth and empathy and power. You know, for me, Lee Miller was redefining femininity 80 years ago, before any of us were even beginning that journey. Femininity for Lee meant resilience and power and courage and compassion. And I wanted to make a film that took her out of the male gaze, because she was viewed through that gaze for so many years of her life, her 20s, and to change that dynamic and have people understand that Lee Miller, as a middle-aged, flawed, messy woman who went to war and documented the truth of the Nazi regime, as a woman. I mean, it was incredible that she did that, the courage that she had to have to do that for the female readers of Vogue. It was phenomenal, and I just wanted to make sure that we did it well and that we did it with absolute sincerity and integrity, because that was genuinely how she lived her life, and I want people to remember her for that.
Well, you did an incredible job. And
Thank you.
photographs, like films, are so powerful and they live on forever. Is there a particular film of yours that you'd love to show your younger self, just to say that's going to be me in the future?
Lee. I mean, honestly, it's funny. I know that seems like such a press junkety answer to give you, but really, truly, Lee has really stayed with me, who she was as a woman. I mean, I spent 7 years researching this and preparing to play this part, quite honestly, because Anthony Penrose, her son, was a huge part of this process for me, and he is a creative consultant on the film. And I spent so much time in the archive with him, listening to his stories, asking him questions with the camera, making sure that that Rolleiflex camera became an extension of my arms and never felt like a prop. It was her energy, her ability to throw herself at life and live it full throttle, even though she paid an enormous emotional price for the things that she documented during the Second World War. Lee was somebody who wasn't going to waste a minute of her life, and she celebrated herself, she celebrated other women, she lived with real truth and integrity, and that's honestly has stayed with me.
I mean, Lee helped pave the way for so many women. When you were growing up, which women in the industry did you always really look up to?
Gosh, I have always looked up to Jessica Lange, Judi Dench, Meryl Streep, Emma Thompson, who is a dear friend of mine. I worked with her when I was 19 years old. My God, that's nearly 30 years ago now. Makes me feel old. And Jodie Foster, actually, who I then also did work with in 2011, and I had admired her since I was a child. But women who I could feel were really devoted to the craft of acting and doing incredible work and making people laugh. That was something else that I seem to find just fascinating, is how were they able to do that? Because that is difficult to do and gives a whole other dimension to a performance when there's that sense of kind of joyfulness and playfulness. Those were the women I really looked up to.
All queens.
Welcome to Vogue magazine. I hear you're the woman to see about a job.
Audrey Withers.
The fact that Lee went from being a model to becoming a war photographer at a time when women didn't have any opportunities just blows my mind. It's incredible.
It is incredible, yeah.
If you weren't acting, what other job do you think you'd be doing?
If I wasn't acting, what job would I be doing? Do you know what? I don't know. But to your point about Lee being a woman, that's what was so remarkable about what she did. Women were not going to the front line. I mean, the hoops she had to jump through to get permission to be able to go, to get her US war accreditation, to be permitted to even enter those areas. And it's true, you see it in the film, the fight, even when she got there, no women in the press briefing. This is a no women's area. What are you even doing here? Don't get your knickers in a twist. Don't be excited. Constantly being treated like the little lady. She just wouldn't accept it, and that's again, I think, why her story is so remarkable, because against all the odds, she was still determined to document the truth and to do that for women.
Thank you so much for telling this story. I'm Jewish and I had no idea who Leah Miller was, so
wow.
Thank you for sharing this, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
My God.